That's Chuck. Chuck goes to sleep at 2 in the morning even though he has school tomorrow. In school, he then wonders why he can't concentrate. Well, sometimes Chuck sleeps really well, but other times can't fall asleep at all. Because of that, he can't be consistent throughout the week with his habits or with his goals. Yo, Bernhard! Bernhard goes to sleep consistently when it gets dark so he can rest his body and crush the next morning right away. But before he does so, he hits his evening ritual for the best sleep possible. Man, Bernhard, what are your tricks? About 3 years ago, I had this massive struggle of falling asleep. So what would happen is basically I'd play video games until 23 o'clock with my boys. Like Valorant and League of Legends was the things we played back then. But then around 23, I went to sleep. But actually couldn't sleep. I was just going through all the League of Legends games I had just played, thinking about my teammates, which were that bad. And then when I finally fell asleep, like after 1.5 hours, I just woke up the next morning super fatigued. I had maybe gotten 7 hours of sleep maximum, probably like 5, and then got ready for school, even though I was super fatigued. And because of that fatigue that I felt, I actually told my mom a lot that I couldn't go to school because I was that tired. I skipped class because I couldn't get my sleep schedule right. In this video, I will teach you all the habits that I've collected over 50 hours of sleep research in one video for you. So we'll start right away with having a consistent sleep schedule. Now there's two main things to look at if you're looking at your schedule. The first one is, are you getting enough hours of sleep? So the hours of sleep you want to aim for is 10 hours. Back then they were recommending that you get about 8 hours of sleep. But since then, and even if you're my age, right, and doing a lot of sports, you need 10. Like aim for 10 whole hours. I know it sounds a lot, but it will get you that much more progress in sports, give you more focus in school. The second thing to look at is that your block of sleep is in the same time roughly. So science says it shouldn't be longer than 15 minutes. That means if you're going to bed at 8, you can't go to bed later than 8:15. And before that time, before 8, you're most likely not gonna be so tired as that you can't sleep. So the more you go to bed at the same time, your body will accustom to it and then will sleep, get tired and sleep in the time. If you go later, this will shift your state of sleeping. So your brain will get accustomed to that for one night, and then if you're going all over the place, let's imagine you go to bed at 8, then at 9, then at 10, it thinks, what the is going on here? I'm not getting consistent sleep. I have to change up the way I work for each sleep cycle because your brain works a lot during sleep. The second habit you can do to optimize your sleep is looking at your sleep fatigue. So basically, it's almost like a video game, honestly. You have this sleep buildup which happens over the day. So in the morning when you get sunlight, you will be pretty awake. You will be aware of everything going on around you. Over the day, your sleep hormones will rise and rise and rise. Some people take a nap like at maybe 3 o'clock. And then it goes down a bit because your body has caught up on some of the sleep buildup that happens during the day. So what many people do, which destroys their sleep, even though they want to do something good for their sleep, is they will take a nap before they go to bed, like 4 hours before they go to bed. And then they go to bed at 8, which is their usual sleep time. But they actually can't sleep because they've messed with their buildup. So they go to bed at this buildup. But because of the nap, it's only here now. So they don't get tired to sleep. Now, how you can boost your sleep buildup if you notice that you're not pretty tired in the evening or around the time you want to be, is that first of all, I've told you about your brain gets accustomed to the time. So if you want to aim for the optimal sleep time, optimal bedtime of 8, you will want to reduce your current sleep time by 15 minutes each day until you are at your optimal time. With that, you get down in these small blocks because you just couldn't sleep if you were having 1 hour difference. It would take too long. If you break it down into these smaller bits, you can get way faster results, okay? The second thing is that you can do sports or use your brain power basically, use all of that up so that in the evening you're fatigued like you should be. And then you get fast sleep, like you fall asleep right away. You might know these evenings from holidays where you were running around in the sun for the whole day. And then you just lie into bed in the evening and are completely knocked out. So now looking at natural light, which is habit number 3. Natural light is amazing for you because it controls the way your body is perceiving the time. Now, the natural state is that the sun goes up, you are awake, and then it goes down and you get more and more and more sleepy. In the modern times, you might have heard about the industrialization, where they found out how to make lights, like electric lights coming from the ceiling. During that time, they had more productivity because, well, they took the workers and put them in these halls with electric lights, with an artificial sun. That means that you should avoid electric lights, bright lights in the evening if you want to go to sleep. Dim your lights, try to get as little light as possible before you go to sleep. Computer and phone screens, they also count for that. They will also disrupt your sleep. Optimal case, therefore, is that you will not look at screens for 90 minutes before you go to sleep. Okay, so dim lights in the evening and don't look at screens. Now the fourth habit you can get to optimize your sleep is the temperature. The temperature also controls how you sleep and when you sleep. The practical advice here would be to take a hot shower before you go to sleep. I'll explain why. You might know when you open your windows in the evening and let all this cold air steam in, like you're gonna sleep really well, but then if you wake up in the morning, you're gonna feel it's cold. Why is that? So, in the morning, our bodies want to warm up because they want to wake up, right? They are more aware if they are warm. In the evening, though, they want to cool down. Now, you might say, why would I take a hot shower then? You want to take a hot shower because it cools down your body. Your body gets this signal of, yo, it's so hot, we need to cool down a bit. And this happens, your body will cool down. And you get like this little buff for sleep because your body has already turned a bit colder. That when you go into your room and go to sleep, that it will be easier to fall asleep. On the topic of your room, you should keep your bedroom 2 or 3 degrees cooler than the rest of your house. Your body will appreciate it if your room is colder because it will be able to cool down itself faster and just shut down and go to sleep right away instead of laying there for an hour and then cooling down during that time. Now the fifth habit to do before you go to sleep are carbohydrates. Carbohydrates will help your body produce serotonin. Like starches in and of themselves, they will produce serotonin in your body. Serotonin is the feel-good hormone that also makes you sleepy. So, for example, you can try this right now actually. If you eat oats, for example, or bread, or you might have experienced that with pizza, like after you ate carbohydrates, like a proper amount of them, you're gonna get a bit sleepy. Like you want to settle, right? You scroll or do some shit. That's because they produce serotonin and carbohydrates make you sleepy. So the best thing that you can do in terms of nutrition for your sleep is that you will eat carbohydrates, like carbohydrate heavy nutrition in the evening instead of over the day. So you want to keep the carbohydrates for the evening because they will give you a buff on your sleep time. You will just go to sleep faster because you feel better. Now I have to mention that there are some people which have problems digesting during the night or falling asleep. So if you're experiencing something like that, if you're experiencing something like that, try to eat 4 hours before you go to sleep, which is way earlier than you most likely eat now. If you don't have any problems going to sleep while you have food in your stomach, that's great. So I'm that kind of guy. I don't need to put it 4 hours ahead of time. Sometimes I eat like 30 minutes before I go to sleep and it works just fine. So the last habit I got for you is something that you definitely do not do because society is hustle society, okay? So 90-minute wind down time. Instead of working on your school project or something, like you can of course do homework, you need wind down time. Wind down time, meaning that you do light things which don't raise your heart rate up. If you have this task which you have in your habit tracker or something, and you enjoy doing that task but don't find the time throughout the day, now's the time that you can implement it in your 90-minute wind down time or like shorter, but don't do less than 30 minutes before you go to sleep, yeah? During that time, you can do your habits which will fulfill you. You can meditate, you can read. The things that you normally throughout the day that don't take up this high priority, you can sneak into your wind down time, which is great. And I promise to you, this will change your life because you will be so much more fulfilled doing these things instead of hustling the whole day, grinding in the gym, then looking onto YouTube videos on how to better yourself like this. I'm telling you, do your own thing, at least in the evening for yourself, okay? It will boost your life quality, it will boost your sleep as well. So do it. So with that being said, I've just taught you all the habits that I've collected in my research. Enjoy, bro. Enjoy, bro.